I thought I'd show this before I really start tearing into this. This is way low, and you can see all this body filler. You put your hand on here, this is almost an inch thick. I have a feeling there's a lot of rust behind here that they just covered up with body filler. I've got the whole door stripped, like the windows, latches, everything's out of it. So I'm getting ready to tear into this, but I really wanted to show this to you before I start slamming the crap out of this and seeing what's going on here. But this is thick, real thick. See if I can't get this door stood up. I mean, look at this. Can you see that? That is all filled with Bondo, all of it. So I got to tear all that out and see what's going on behind here. Yep, there you go. All rust. Evidently, whoever the body man was on this one thought it was just as easy just to go ahead and cover the rust with Bondo. I mean, look at that. Wow. Let me flip it over and see what the backside looks like. But as you can see, this is not the right way to do rust repair. All right, here's the backside. Oh, at least they use a little fiberglass there. So, go get me a grinder and grind all this out of here. Nice. Heck, it's just easy to pull their crap off there. I'm sure it's fixable. The question is, do I want to fix it? Let me flip this back over. Well, we have some good metal back a ways, so we could probably fix this. Cut this big corner out. So I wonder what the rust looks like behind there. So I'm going to go ahead and take a cut-off wheel and cut this piece out and see what we have underneath there. Okay, here's what I got. I really need to dig all this out, dig that out. Get some rust converter up back here. Really doesn't look too bad. On the other side, I need to cut that out and replace it also, obviously. But yeah, I think it's repairable. At least I got my little patch so I can kind of compare. So be back in a minute. And all that they filled with Bondo. You come up here. I dug out that Bondo. All they did was put Bondo over the rust holes. Okay, on this door, I do want to cut these parts out. I do want to slice these off. But I don't want to cut these off until I have this shape. Make sure that I have this curve and I have this the way it's supposed to be angled and everything. So what I'm going to do is make a template before I cut this off. That's the only reason, because there's a lot of rust behind there, down there in that groove, and it needs to come out of there. So what I'm going to do is make that template, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to go about that. It's basically, I'm just going to use a piece of cardboard, but first, this has this curve to it, and we want to keep that curve. So I have my contour gauge. You guys seen me use it before on the fender. And speaking of the fender, I'm still working on it. So I work on this a little bit, and I run over to the fender, and I do a little bit on the fender. That way I kind of stay busy back and forth. But I'm going to press it down. Just like this, and then I'm going to lock it. So I have this shape. So when I come back with the metal, I should be able to put this on here and keep that shape just like that. So let's continue going. Okay, now that I have that, I'm going to show you how I'm going to get all this. I'm going to flip the door over. Okay, now over here on this side, I'm just going to take a piece of cardboard. I'm going to sit it behind here. And all I'm going to do is outline this. Like so. I have my lines, and I'm just going to cut that out. Okay, I have that cut out. See it? I want to make sure it's right. Yes, it is. Looks good. Follows the lines. I'll keep all that. So now let's flip it back over the other way. So here's my cutout. Yes, it's a Mountain Dew case because I'm a Mountain Dew drinker. You can see it's perfect all the way around there. And what I'm going to do is to make sure it stays here. So now I have this outline. I'm not going to cut that far up. I'm not going to grind that far up. So we'll know to keep this shape. So now I'm going to remove it. All I'm out to do is to cut this section off where the rust was. Okay, the outside's gone. Remember, that's fine because when we cut the new piece of metal, it'll be out here. Okay, my next step is we have to do this inner structure. So I'm going to flip this over again. Okay, I've got it flipped over, and now I need to start making a cardboard template of what I want here. So again, Mountain Dew case, just a piece of cardboard. So what I'm going to do is right now just set it right here. And I don't need it to be perfect, I just need it close. So I'm going to come in just a little bit. Same thing here. We know about where we want to come out here. The inner is going to be a little more difficult because I know I need it up here and I need to make this curve around here. Okay, I cut out my shape. What it does is go right on here like this. You can see it follows it really, really well. So now I'm going to flip the door back over. So I had this shape. There we are with it. So I like that. Okay, now I got that where I want it. What I'm going to do is take the top one, line it up with my marks, tape it down. Okay, so I know what I got to have here. Which is right there. I'm going to take my marker. We're going to mark that, and now I'm going to go cut that. Okay, I cut that. So this should be my inside piece. That's my outside. So what I'm going to do is flip it over, leaving this on here, and make sure this will go where it needs to go before I cut this piece of metal. Okay, so this one is this piece, which will fit right in there. This other one, like I say, will roll over. So that's what we need. So I have my pattern for my inside piece of metal, and I have my pattern for my outside piece of metal. So now I got this made. Let's jump back over to the other fender and sand that primer down a little bit and see what we have. Well, I'm not going to bore you with all this sanding, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to knock this fender down real quick and see what I have. Back in a minute. Okay, this fender's not looking bad now. So what I'm going to do is put another coat of primer on here, and then I'm going to put this fender on the car, kind of set it out of the way. So I can do the finish and sanding and everything on the car. It'll stay nice and steady on the car, and I can finish it all off. So I'm going to take care of that. And as soon as I get this back in the primer and get it hung on the car, we're going to go back over and start on that door again and get some of that metal cut and get it ready to go. Back in a sec. Okay, let's put another coat of primer on this thing. See, I got my cool Harbor Freight gun. Okay, got the fender hung on the car. Just like this one over here is on. So, like I said, get the fenders hung. Now back to the door. All right, here's the door. You see me cutting the cardboard piece. It is cut to go there. So that's cool. So I took this and cut a piece of metal, which is here. You can see it'll go in there like that, and then the other piece will come in and lay over it. So let me get to working. For right now, though, you'll have to wait for another video. This one's getting a little long. But yeah, I'll get this taken care of, that piece put on, and then do the outside of the door next. Then I'll come in here and start cutting this up and start welding pieces in here to get rid of all this soft, rotted stuff. It shouldn't take long to make pieces for there. It looks pretty simple to me. So, yep, we're going to stop right here then and show you how I'm going to fix all this. And hey, if you've enjoyed my video, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Later.